In this video, I will be reviewing issue 2 of the Godzilla Kai-Sei comic. Last time, we got to see an idea of what the G-Force members could do before taking on Anguirus. But then Anguirus flees, apparently noted to be weaker than usual. Our main character, Jacen, gets dragged down into the ocean depths by these weird leech creatures which seem to be feasting off his Kai-Sei energy whenever he tries to punch them. But he gets saved, and they manage to capture one of them. What they thought was a corpse turned out to still be alive, as the worm reproduces two smaller worms. Jacen saves the one researcher guy who, as we saw in the first issue, wasn't exactly trusting Jacen, but seems to have come around after this rescue. And the G-Force commander hatches a plan to use these replicating worms against Godzilla, luring Godzilla out into the middle of the ocean with a bunch of fish. Okay, so I guess Godzilla eats fish, just like a certain other Godzilla, which does make me question if perhaps this Godzilla's energy reserves are not infinite if he needs the feast to restore energy. Jacen then reveals that his fight against Godzilla at the orphanage was not the first time he had an encounter with Godzilla, as back when he was a little kid and still had a mother, apparently she was working at some research facility when all of a sudden a huge explosion erupts, and then suddenly the research facility is gone with Godzilla standing over the wrecking. Now that's interesting. Godzilla just suddenly appears out of thin air with a massive explosion. No hints of his impeding arrival with like the ground shaking footsteps or a roar. It's just like one moment he's not there, then suddenly the next he is. I'll have more to say on this moment at the end of the issue. It's also noted that both Godzilla and Anguirus share a feeding path somewhere around the ocean, which does seem to explain why the two have sort of a rivalry, having come into conflict with each other multiple times over the decade. Also, I can't. Jet Jaguar, that walk. The group suddenly gets attacked by some pirates who seem to have some kind of worship for the kaiju, at least based off the way this guy dresses. When Jacen tries to punch the guy, he just casually catches it, while also noting how he has the same power as Godzilla. Interesting. Does that mean this guy's actually tried to fight Godzilla before? Or is it like with Dragon Ball with like key signatures, where it's like, oh, you've got energy identical to Godzilla's? Apparently the guy's name is Captain Caronero, and I guess he's similar to Jacen, that he's got super strength, because I don't see how else he could block that punch. And I guess he's well known even to the G-Force commander. He tries to bargain with the pirates, offering to give them the fish they have, but he suspects that they're hiding something far more valuable in the cargo below, opens it, and discovers the giant leeches, which have not only replicated, but also grown in size as well. When Jacen notes to the pirate guy how it absorbs his Kai-Sei energy, the pirate guy is reminded of the fact that he's seen this creature before, called Yakumama. We then see the ominous talking kaiju called Lament observing this on a bunch of monitors, pull out some more of the leeches from a vat of chemicals, revealing that he's likely the one behind their existence, and that his true intention is to destroy the Earth, or at least destroy all human life on it. I guess this also tells us another one of Lament's abilities. He can either alter his size at will to become more human-sized, or those are enormous TVs. We then see Godzilla closing in behind the vessel as the issue ends. The synopsis for issue 3, however, is very interesting. First off, it notes how Godzilla begins a rampage in the middle of the country, but also questions how he just suddenly got into the middle of the country without going through the rest of it. This is a callback to earlier in the issue, where in Jacen's flashback, we see the research facility where his mom is working at, then a huge explosion, and then suddenly there's Godzilla. I'm thinking this Godzilla might have teleportation powers. If you recall in my review of issue 1 of Escape the Dead Zone, there's one guy inside the Dead Zone claimed to have seen Godzilla inside the Dead Zone, and we already know Godzilla's traveled outside the Dead Zone. So I figured at that point, either Godzilla knew some sort of secret way to get in and out of the Dead Zone, but now this issue's suggesting that Godzilla is just teleporting from one place to another, and that's how he can come and go from the Dead Zone as he pleases. Jesus. But yeah, I'm going to list teleportation as a possible X-Factor ability to this Godzilla, as well as a weakness being that he might not have infinite energy if he and Anguirus have to feed off a fish. However, the final paragraph is what I'm most interested about, stating how Jacen and Godzilla are gonna soon get their rematch, and how apparently only one of them is making it out of the first arc alive. Okay, so this means one of two things. Either Jacen's going to kill Godzilla within literally like the first couple issues of the story, which would be rather climactic. It'd be like Eren Yeager taking out all the Titans in just season 1. Or Godzilla's gonna kill Jacen, in which case we lose our protagonist within the first couple issues. Not the first story to have a red herring main character fake out death, but most likely Jacen will somehow beat Godzilla and he'll just come back because it's like, come on, it's Godzilla. Join me next time when we get to see what exactly happens as the G-Force members have to deal with pirates, the giant leech monster, and Godzilla's impending arrival. See you then, folks. Take care.